What's good, everybody? What's good? Make sure to like, subscribe to the channel as you tune in to check out the content. With that being said, man, I want to speak on Luka, and I want to bring up something that Chris Broussard said about Luka Doncic, right? Because right now everybody's talking about Austin Reeves was signed, and I think that was a good signing by the Lakers. And then so you got Luka in there, and then you got Austin Reeves in there. But I still think that for the Lakers, I just think that they need to surround Luka with the right pieces. If they, if they serious about trying to challenge and win a championship, especially coming out of the West when you have OKC, then you have the Spurs. I just think it's going to be hard for Luka to lead that team to a championship unless you put the right pieces around him. Now, I think that if I'm the Lakers, I can't really sign LeBron because LeBron really don't help Luka get any closer to that championship unless LeBron James was willing to play like a lesser role, maybe come off the bench or something like that. Sixth man, seventh man, maybe. But as a starter, I don't think that that will help Luka win a championship, right? So that's why I'm really speaking about this clip or these statements that was made by Chris Broussard, because these statements still ring true. That Luka, and not just you need to surround him with the right people and the right talent, but also there's some things in Luka's game that Luka need to really to work on. Right, he need to put more effort forth when it comes to defense. You know, he can't be so ball dominant, right? And because he needs to move without the ball in order to help his teammates be more effective on offense. But once Luka passed the ball, he's basically, you don't have to really play him because he's not going to really give you too much movement. So that means that his man can kind of sag off and help, which will make it harder for his teammates. So there's some things that Luka need to work on if Luka wants to be able to come out of that. The West is just it's tough, right? It's going to be tough to come out of there. And so these statements that I'm about to play from Chris Broussard really, in my opinion, ring true, even more true now than in the past.
I think, Nick, it's on the table that Luka never wins a championship. Luka is phenomenal, and he's clearly already a Hall of Famer. I'm not predicting that. This is not Chris Broussard saying Luka's never going to win a ring. A year ago, I would have said there's no way he's not getting a championship in his career. It's possible that he doesn't now because San Antonio's only going to get better. OKC's probably just going to keep getting better. And that's not to mention growth among other teams. And Luka, he's in good shape this year. Maybe he's going to have to get in better shape because as he's getting older, I think it's just going to be challenging for him to win. And again, a lot of my issue is with Luka's playing style. And I'm not the first to say this. For years, people have been saying he's hardened. We haven't seen a one-man show win a championship. Wilt Chamberlain's 2 years he won the championship, he didn't lead the league in scoring. His scoring dropped. His usage dropped. Jordan, when he was averaging 35 and 37 a game, he didn't win the championship. Yep. LeBron in Cleveland, one-man show, didn't win the championship. Harden hasn't been able to do it. I just think this style of play, and is Luka capable of playing a little differently? A little differently. Just give me some action when you don't have the ball in your hands. Give me a little more effort defensively. He has to be ball dominant, and that one or two man teams where one or two guy creates everything for everybody generally get beat by 5-man teams when the talent is close. I think.
And see, and Chris Broussard made, like I said, these points that he made, I mean, they just ring true even to this day about Luka. I'm curious to see, like, will he be willing to make that change? Is he capable of making that change? Not being so ball dominant, right? Now, as far as comparing Luka to James Harden, I don't see Luka in the playoffs. I don't see him shrinking, right? And not like going on like shooting like 3 for 30 from 3-point line. It's like something crazy, or 3 for 26 from 3, right? I don't see Luka doing stuff like that, but I do see his defensive effort hurting the team. I do see the fact that Luka don't really move a lot without the ball. I think that'll hurt the team. And and with that whining and complaining about calls, especially on turnover situations when he need to hustle back, that hurts the team, right? So Luka, in my opinion, he has some few things that he really need to work on. Like I said, signing Austin Reeves, I thought it was a good signing, but they need some, they need to surround him too with some athletes, guys who can really play tough defense, who has the length and the athleticism to affect people's shots. I think that's gonna that will help Luka at the defensive end. That'll make up for some of Luka's like the flaw in his game, the fact that he don't really play a whole lot of defense. He got to give you more effort too on the defense. Right. I know that him and Austin Reeves, they can really fill it up, but I think he gonna have to really put more effort, out there for defense, right? And so, what else? I'm trying to think of what else this guy really need to work on as far as this game. Like I said, now offensively, do him and Austin Reeves have enough firepower to be able to compete with OKC or the Spurs? Just those two, right? I don't know. I don't think so. They need one more dynamic, offensive player. That's why I said that, in my opinion, it's not LeBron James. They need some young legs out there, somebody who is really somebody who can create their own shot. Especially because sometimes what Luka do, he'll hold the ball, he'll dribble the, and wind that shot clock down, and then so when you get that ball from Luka and there's only a few seconds on that clock, you got to be ready to move. You got to be, you got to be able to get a shot off, a good shot, right? Because sometimes, like I said, Luka is ball dominant, but I wouldn't compare Luka to James Harden, because I have seen Luka in the playoffs, and he didn't really he didn't shrink or he didn't shoot terribly, but I just think that he's trying to at certain points he tried to take over too much. He tried to do too much. When Luka has to learn how to trust his teammates. If Luka, you put the right talent around Luka, and he don't and he learn how to trust his teammates, then yeah, he can be like LeBron. He can be like what Jordan did, or any of the greats who been through the same thing that Luka's going through. Whereas though you need to be able to trust your teammates, get them involved, and then that will make Luka even more that'll make him even more dangerous, because now you just can't key on Luka. Now you have to play, and you have to respect the other players on the team. So if Luka don't really change his game, then what Chris Broussard just said, in my opinion, is going to come true, because that that Western Conference is not going to get any weaker. Like I said, you got OKC, then you got the Spurs, and I like Houston over there. I still like Houston, even though they having issues with I don't know, like what's they up in the air about, like what's going on with Kevin Durant, but I still like Houston because Email Doka, he's a defensive coach, and he's gonna have those guys playing defense, right? So there are some up and coming teams in the West too. The West is just tough, and Luka not gonna be able to do it by himself. So that's my take on it. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to leave a comment. And with that being said, man, I'm gonna check y'all out in the next video. Peace.